Welcome back to the JDW SportsTalkShow, where every fan is welcome. And today's episode, we're going to be going through the Pittsburg Steelers schedule, 2021 schedule, and talking about every game, talking about every opponent a little bit, and just going through the schedule, giving you my thoughts, my predictions on their schedule and how their season is going to go. Make sure to let me know down in the comment section down below if you agree or disagree with me. What do you think the Pittsburgh Steelers record is going to be? So let's get right into this game. Right into this schedule. So week one, they go to Buffalo. It's going to be a difficult game, and I'm going to give them a loss week one in Buffalo. I think that Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills are going to be able to air it out in Pittsburgh, and I think that offense is going to struggle to start the season a bit. Week two, you come home, you play Las Vegas Raiders. I think that's a win. I think they beat the Las Vegas Raiders. Yeah, the Raiders are a decent team offensively, but I think that Pittsburgh defense will get the best of that Raiders offense. The receivers aren't all that crazy, and I think that's the big difference. Yeah, a good running back. Yeah, a good quarterback. Yeah, a good tight end, but the offensive line could be better. Just a team that could be a little better if you ask me. And I think that the Steelers match up pretty well against the Las Vegas Raiders. I think they'll be able to run the Raiders with Najee Harris. I think they'll be able to score on the Raiders a little bit. And now we're staying at home, playing Cincinnati in week three, and I think this is going to be a fun game as well. I think it's a similar matchup to the Raiders. Bengals have, but the Bengals have better receivers, and I think that's going to be the difference. And I think this is why the Bengals are going to beat the Steelers in Pittsburgh. Yeah, the Steelers own the Bengals. Yeah, they own the Bengals or Browns, whatever. But those times are up, man. You got Joe Burrow coming into town. You got Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, Higgins. You got Joe Mixon. An offensive line that's improving, but not the best, but improving. The defense is improving as well. I think the defense is better than the Raiders. I think they'll be able to stop. I think they'll be able to stop the Steelers a little more than the Raiders were, and I'm gonna give the Bengals a win here. Week 4 at the Green Bay Packers. Now, it kind of depends who's playing here. If Aaron Rodgers is playing, I'm definitely giving Green Bay this game. If Jordan Love is playing, I may shift the other way because Jordan Love, still young, still learning. He may not be ready, and he may struggle versus a really vaunted Pittsburgh Steelers defense, even though I think that this defense is actually going to take a bit of a step back next year. So I'm going to give the Green Bay Packers a win in that game. Week 5 at home for the Denver Broncos. This is going to be a good game as well. The Broncos could pound the shit out of the ball. That's their goal. They want to pound the shit out of the ball, and they want to, run as much as they could and, pass when needed and play good defense. An old school type of team, if you ask me. That's what I think the Browns are, or the Broncos. I think the Broncos are an old school type of team. They want to pound the crap out of the ball, and they want to play good defense. And, could Drew Lock or Teddy Bridgewater make the plays needed to beat the Steelers to play that small ball? Yes, I do. I think the Broncos will beat the Steelers in Week 5. Week 6, they stay at home versus the Seattle Seahawks. This is another tough game for the Steelers, man. As I'm looking at the schedule more, the schedule is a little rough. They have some really good teams they're playing. The Bills, the Bengals are getting better. Denver is up and rising. Green Bay is, really good, especially with Aaron Rodgers. Seattle is really good offensively. I think this is, a good matchup for the Steelers. But, because they got a good defense, and they can stop Seattle a bit. And that offense can maybe score and run on that Seattle defense. So, you know what? I'm actually going to take the Steelers in this one. I'm going to take the Steelers over Seattle because I think they're going to be able to run on Seattle. I think that defense is going to get to Russell Wilson. I think that defense is going to do really well against that team. So I'm going to take. So yeah, they could still air it out a little bit, but I think that defensive line is going to get to them too quick. They're not going to have a chance. So I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Seattle Seahawks in Week 6. Week 7, the bye week. Week 8, they travel to Cleveland. One of the most talented teams in the league this year. The Cleveland Browns are one of the best teams, and they're one of my favorites to win, the AFC. They're a top dog in the AFC, while Pittsburgh, is kind of going another way. I think I'm going to take Cleveland in this one. I'm going to take Cleveland to beat the Steelers. I think they're going to be able to score that defense. I think that the defense will be able to do its job versus offense, so I'm going to take the Browns in that first matchup in Week 8. Week 9, they come back home to play the Chicago Bears. This could be a fun game as well. Is it going to be Andy Dalton? Is it going to be Justin Fields? We don't know. Nonetheless, it could be a really good game. Two good defenses and two offenses that could be struggling. But do you take the more dynamic offense if Justin Fields is playing? Maybe, but that offensive line isn't the greatest. Those wide receivers aren't the greatest. So, I'm kind of going to go with the Steelers. I think the Steelers' offense is a bit better than the Bears, if you ask me. I think it could be better than the Bears. I mean, that's just what I'm going at. I think the Bears' defense is a little better, but I think the offense is a little better on the Steelers' side, and that's, what wins games anymore. And I hate to say it, but, I think this is a game where that better defense think gets, pushed back a little bit. And then you have, Week 10, they stay at home versus the Detroit Lions. I think they're going to beat the Lions. I think they're going to be able to handle Goff, the wide receiver core, the running backs, the offense lines are getting better. The tight end, they'll be able to handle him. TJ Hawkinson, all those linebackers. The offense will be able to score on the Detroit Lions defense nicely. Maybe not nicely, but okay. I'm going to take the Steelers in this Detroit game. Week 11 at the Los Angeles Chargers. I'm going to take Justin Herbert and I'm going to take Justin Herbert and the Chargers in this game because, I think Herbert's going to be able to air it out. I think that the wide receivers are going to get open. I think that Keenan Allen and the Chargers can play small ball and run the ball well, especially with that more improved offensive line. I just think that this Chargers team is a bit better than the Pittsburgh Steelers at the moment. Week 12, they then travel. They're staying on the road and then going to Cincinnati to play the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm going to take the Steelers in the second matchup. The Bengals are a young and upcoming team, but I think this is a game where the I can just see the I just lost my train of thought, but I think this is a game where I could see this young team messing up against a division rival. I can see Joe Burrow throwing a few picks. I could see that defensive line really getting Joe Burrow the second time around. So that's what I got for you guys in Week 12. So Week 13. They go back home to play the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens are a really good team. They're going to be able to run the ball really well against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think they're going to be able. They may struggle to pass. The defense is good. So it's kind of similar to this Steelers team, if you ask me. But I think the offense is a little more dynamic, and I think Steelers at home are going to take them at home in the first game. It could be a bit of a surprise, but I'm going to take the Steelers in that first game. Week 14 at Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are a really good offensive team. Defensively, they're not the greatest, but can Pittsburgh score? That's going to be the huge question. And I say that the Minnesota Vikings outscore the Pittsburgh Steelers in Week 14. Week 15, they play the Tennessee Titans, another really good team, a team that can run like crazy, that can pass like crazy with Julio Jones, with A.J. Brown. Just a really good team, in my opinion. Just a really, a Super Bowl contender. They're a Super Bowl contender, and I don't think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be able to handle them. 16, they go to Kansas City, and this is another tough game, man. This is another tough game. I'm going to say they lose that game to Kansas City. That offense is really good. That defense is going to be enough to slow down this offense. Just that simple. Same thing with the Browns. I think the Browns are going to sweep the Steelers. Yeah, I said it. The Browns are going to sweep the Steelers for the first time in God knows how many years. I just really like this Browns team. This Browns team is very talented, but this is going to be, a big-time rivalry, especially with the Browns not knocking them out in the playoffs the way they did last year. So maybe the Steelers do end up taking one from the Browns, but I don't think so. I think the Browns are too talented. But yeah, maybe it's a game that they drop in Week 17. Maybe it's a game that they drop in Week 8. I can see that, especially the Steelers coming off the bye week. Then you have Week 18. The Steelers are heading to Baltimore. I'm going to give Baltimore that win. As well. So really not a good way to end off this season on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 game losing streak, but they did have kind of a streak before that. I think this is a fair prediction for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have a decent offense, but it all depends on Big Ben and how that offensive line wants to play. I think Najee Harris is a decent running back. He's kind of like Le'Veon Bell, if you ask me. But is he going to be as good as Le'Veon? That's the question. That's a big question to be answered. But nonetheless, this Pittsburgh team has a lot of work to do on offense. They got to see what they got to do, and if they improve on offense a bit more, they may be better. But I also think that this defense may take a bit of a step back. So that's what I got for you guys today. Thank you for tuning in to the JDW Sports Talk Show where every fan is welcome. And I thank you for tuning in. And as always, I will catch you guys next time.